so much for taking the time to speak with me today. I loved the film.
Thank you.
What's it been like now that it's, we're doing this for the Blu-ray release and
Yeah.
it's been out? Do you feel, I think probably before some may have seen it as a risk to be like, oh, it's fantasy, oh, it's R-rated, but do you feel like vindicated now that the film has been so well received?
Yes, I'm vindicated. I suppose so. I mean, I don't know if I've really felt like I was challenging people too much, or that I had something to prove. I think it's just the nature of this project, the nature of this film and this story and this person that we're kind of looking at and how we chose to tell that story. I didn't hit many naysayers, so to feel vindicated by. Do you know what I mean? I think there may have been a desire for it to be something different from what it was, but those things were irrelevant because Elton, myself, David Furnish, Matthew Vaughan, Taron, we all had a very strong and particular idea, and then I had a vision for it that I was able to fulfill in my best possible way. So that's what's exciting about it. That's what's engaging about it. And hopefully that there's an appetite for that as much as there's an appetite for something that's not R-rated or a musical. Because this is, there's not a lot of R-rated musicals around. And I think that was something that we were really excited about. We were like, hey, this is our strength. This is what we've got to really bite into, and maybe we can offer something different.
It's also an unusual musical in that, it's not that every musical number is big and flashy. You have it highs and lows.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about sort of approaching that where you have something like Saturday Night's All Right, where it is sort of a big number, but then something like your song where it's just at the piano?
Yeah, I mean, all the numbers are different in that they're doing different things within the story, and sometimes they are all-out fantasy and they're just a celebration of a moment and a feeling. They're all about feelings, I suppose, really, essentially. And as we know, those things are varied and completely complex and different. And sometimes, for me, your song is like the one moment in the film when it's just actually the moment of the song being written. And if you took away all the other fantasy moments, that moment would still be there. That song would still be there because it's a seminal moment in Elton and Bernie's life. It's not only about their friendship, but as a moment where an incredible song that has touched millions of people is written and created. So that would still be there. Whereas you could argue Saturday Night's All Right for a Fight is about a young man discovering the wider world, thinking, I want to get out there. There's all these interesting people and influences and music. That's fantasy. So you could take that away and it still work dramatically. But they're all different. And some are performances. Some he's out there on stage and he's doing, Benny and the Jets, that then becomes a fantasy thing as well. And same with Rocketman. So I tried to make them all do something different, but still speak to how Elton is feeling at that particular moment in the story. And I think we're successful at that.
One of the things I like about the film is that it doesn't really, because of that fantasy approach, it lets it all kind of blend together. Were there any sort of thoughts about, like, do we want to say it is now 1977, or do we want to, delineate time more clearly, or should we just let it flow as it is?
I mean, having made biopics before and understanding that I feel that's a bit of a trap. It can be, and the thing is, you can never really satisfy in 2 hours 30 years of a life, and you have to play fast and loose with facts and timelines and people and locations and all that sort of stuff. So I kind of chose to embrace that and say it's just what happened over a period of time. And also because Elton is our narrator, he's kind of remembering things. Memory is a fallible thing. It's based in emotion. It's not really always based in fact, and so that means if I were to tell you the story of my life, I would get things wrong, but I would be able to tell you what the story of my life was still. You know what I mean? Similarly,
right.
You just, things get mixed up, and that's okay. And I took that kind of as part of the rules, if you like, that things were going to be wrong, but that's almost sort of intentional, that he sort of puts things in the wrong order or the wrong person's there, or because it's really about how he felt and how it moved him to the next stage of his life.
Now, you're also attached now to Sherlock Holmes 3.
That's right.
And having previously worked with Guy, have you talked with him at all about moving into that series?
Yeah, I have. He's very generous about it. It's like, you're going to have a great time. Go and have a great time. It'll be exciting. Robert's fantastic. Jude's amazing. It's an incredible incredible cast there, and a great opportunity, and he's not around to do it. He's off, doing what he's doing. So it feels good to be part of that. Guy and I go way back, and he's very generous, and sort of, I think he finds it rather fun that it's me.
Do you want to sort of continue his style, or do you want to sort of try to bring a new stamp to that series?
Well, I think that's inevitable, isn't it? I mean, we're different filmmakers, and I'm not going to kind of ignore what he did so brilliantly before. I mean, there'll be an element of that, but I will also bring my own voice to it as well, and it'll be something sort of different. And I suppose that's the idea of bringing in somebody new. We'll see what happens.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, likewise.